I'm Dave Coplin, National Technology Officer for Microsoft here in the UK. I'd like to introduce you to a video we've commissioned called The Hybrid Organisation, where it looks at 3 key areas of change and helps people understand how to harness these areas of change and make them work for them, not just in their organisation, but with the individuals that contain within. These 3 key areas are society, the built environment and technology. You'll find some recommendations along with some other material at the URL at the end of this clip. We hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
So my views changed as we went through the discussion today, and I think it's very clear that the silos in organisations need to come together, and I think the discussion around the hybrid organisation it clarified for me that there is kind of those 3 areas of technology, people, and facilities and buildings and those sort of things. And I think bringing those together as a single discussion actually is the really interesting thing, because I don't think you can separate them. I think we do. I think people generally in business separate them today, and I think we need to think differently about it. And so that was the thing that really struck me, that actually a hybrid organisation is actually what we've got today, just pulling it together.
A hybrid organisation is one that considers people's home lives alongside their work lives in equal measure, and takes into account how these days there is more and more interaction between those aspects of our lives. And I think there's a lot of technological and administrative and organizational ways that we can make the boundary between those 2 aspects of our lives more seamless, and that will bring advantages to the organization and to the employees.
Originally, I saw a hybrid organisation as the hybridisation between the physical and the virtual, and how they kind of interrelated. I think, having thought about it more, I would kind of see it as a redefinition. The redefinition of what it will be to be an organisation in the 21st century, the redefinition of individuality in the 21st century when we're so very highly connected within a very complex network of sources, and the redefinition of the relationship between the individual and the organisation. So not a simple answer, but I think hopefully accurate.
I think if you looked at a hybrid organisation almost from an economic perspective, there'd be sort of 3 strands I think I'd want to draw out. One is that the organisation has to form in a very democratic manner, where it involves everybody. Strategy, future thought isn't something which comes down from on high, it's generated from below as well, and it's something which is disseminated throughout the organisation. It's something which everybody feels ownership of, thinking about the future of the organisation. Are we in the right place? Are we in the right spot here? What are the new products, services we should be thinking about? What are the messages which are coming back from the marketplace? How quickly can we get those messages back? We don't want to wait until the board have a strategy review. We want this to be a daily part of work. So that sort of a democratic process is critical. I think being future savvy as well, not lacking confidence, not thinking we're a small enterprise, we don't have the specialist skills, we don't have the budget to bring in McKinsey. But actually, companies can do a lot there. They can look at their markets, they can assess what are the key drivers there. Not every driver out there is going to really affect them, but there's going to be some keys. What are the key drivers? What influences those drivers? How can we monitor those? And how can we then keep track as a result of what the implications are for our company? People can do that. They find it daunting, they think we haven't got the money or the skills, but actually they can do it, because all entrepreneurs are futurists. By their nature, successful entrepreneurs are futurists. They're anticipating the future and they're delivering it before somebody else does. All this is about, this democratic, future-savvy organisation is spreading that entrepreneurial spirit throughout the organisation. And I think part and part as well of the hybrid organisation is a very non-conformist attitude, is really challenging received wisdom at every turn. And I mean really challenging it, challenging the big geopolitical issues of the day, going up against the biggest ones of all at the present, on the economy, on climate change. Is received wisdom correct? If it isn't, how can that affect me? How can I exploit that? Do I really believe it? And so it is a very agile notion of a company. It's a very flat structure. It's one where network and ideas and openness are absolutely central. It's a long way away actually from where most companies are now, but it's not a long way away from where the best companies are now. And I think we can, and the exemplar effect will be very powerful in nurturing these sort of developments in the future.
I think it's one that breaks the rules. I think it's one that's brave enough to rethink the nature of work and understands that work is becoming a process, a verb, as opposed to a place, a noun. So the hybrid organisation is one that is eclectic, is heterogeneous, is one that shows that it can take external forces and drivers of change, understand them and embrace them, and achieve innovation in the way it works.
A hybrid organisation is really how both private and public sector organisations are going to have to become. And I think the main aspect of that is where people are at the centre of everything they do. So it's both staff, it's customers, it's service users, where everything is oriented around how people really live their lives and what they really want to get out of purchasing decisions or trips to the doctor, or all of those interactions with formal organisations.
For me, I think it's one that empowers and engages its people. There is so much that goes on inside an organisation, and every person is part of the overall process. Yet very rarely are people encouraged or unleashed or empowered to really impart their opinion, their views, or their ideas. And this isn't about creating a lovely organisation where everybody has a voice, and that's interesting and it needs to be a part of that. But I think if you empower people with a framework of guidance, so there is some broad direction about, we think we're going over here, but actually we'd love to hear from you about how we might do that, or what we could do, or actually if you think it's not there, maybe it's over there. So it's putting those individuals in that place, and I think at its element, the hybrid organisation has to be about that sort of democracy at its heart, but then enabled by a bunch of technology and facilities and infrastructure around how that might come together. So I think that's really how I would synthesise it.